Look, I found a Snorlax. Of course, Cherry Lime Ricky, banging. Let's just start with the AFC. I'm pumped. I gotta get this out before Chiefs Chargers, so I can watch Chargers blow another huge game. Y'all ready for the AFC predictions? Let's get into it. Same thing as last time. North, South, West, East. AFC going by division. I got my notes right here. Granted, I forgot what I put in my notes. Starting in the East. Alright. For the AFC East, in last place, this might be a shock to some people. I'm actually going with the Dolphins. Here's why. Tyreek Hill is a drama queen, right? I am no longer a believer in Tua. I did when he was drafted. Tua is not the guy, alright? He really isn't. Yes, you still have a run game with Mostert and Achane. I just don't believe in Tua. I don't believe in that defense as much. So that's just why I'm putting Miami in last. I think the only person I can think on Miami's defense right now is Bradley Chubb. You lost Jalen Ramsey, you lost Howard, and so on and so forth. And people really want Mike McDaniel out of the head coaching job. I would be. Hopefully that wasn't in the way. I like him, to be fair, just because he's funny. But if he's not a good coach, he's not a good coach. Plus, the culture over there is really bad, dude. Alright, third place. I have the Jets. I love Eric Glenn as a coach. Culture, he's changing the culture over there. Crazy how much culture affects a team. The question is Justin Fields. I used to be a believer in him. You know what? Fuck it. I'm still a believer in Justin Fields. You know what? Give me the Jets in third. But losing Elijah Vera Tucker was pretty big on that offensive line. It's a good thing you got a mobile quarterback because he's going to be running a lot. Second place, I got the Buffalo. No, I'm kidding. I got the Patriots. I think the Patriots are probably the most surprised team that I have right now. Mike Vrabel, good coach. Everybody knows that. I'm still shocked that Titans got rid of him and fired him. Henderson looks good. I love May. May looks good. Stephon Diggs is now over there in New England. I still don't really trust that wide receiver room to begin with. Hunter Henry, solid tight end. But the defense, very good secondary. I don't know about up front, though. Is Judon still there? I'm pretty sure Judon went somewhere else in the offseason. No, at the trade deadline last year. I don't know if Judon's still there. But I do have questions up front. On the defensive line, they should be good offensive line-wise, so. Alright, and then I have Buffalo. Where am I going? There it is. Josh Allen, man, and defense is still pretty solid. The only thing is, who is he throwing to? That's Kincaid, Knox, Barefoot Bob is no longer there. Pretty sure Matt Collins went somewhere else. Keon Coleman, that's who I was thinking of. But I think it's still the Bills. Patriots may make it closer than most people think. But I'm going with the Bills. Alright. To the West. This was a really hard division to pick. In last, I'm going to do the Raiders. Listen, I like the Raiders. I like Pete Carroll, I guess. He's okay. I want to be a believer in Geno Smith. I really do. This is a toughie. I think this is the hardest division in the AFC. All good coaches. All decent quarterbacks, at least. I'm going to put the Raiders here for now. May regret it. I like the offense. Geno's not really throwing to anybody except for Brock Bowers. Especially since that one Amari Cooper, who went back there and then retired like after a couple weeks. Brock Bowers, Genty. I don't know who else is in that receiving room. It can't come to mind. Alright. Next, I have the Chargers. Harbaugh, go-to coach. Herbert, if he could get some help. Kind of. You need more than Quentin Johnston. He actually does have help. What am I saying? Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen is back. I don't know who's playing tight end off the top of my head. You now have the former Pittsburgh running back, Harris, now over there. Like, you can't keep saying Herbert, just give the guy some help, because he's had help. He had Lad McConkey. Granted, it's just Lad, mainly. But, Keenan Allen comes back. Who knows what happens. The defense, you lose Joey Bosa, and he's been injury prone most of his career. Khalil Mack is still there. Derwin James is still there. Still a solid defense, not the best. And in second, I have the Broncos in the West. The only reason I put the Broncos second in this division is because of the Chiefs and for the fact that they just keep winning the West. So the only reason I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win the West is because of the past. No other reason. Literally, I think the Broncos are a way better team than the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs got worse. I think they're getting worse by year, but they just keep winning. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs to win the West until they lose the West. That simple. Just win the West. These three teams. Please. The only reason I have Chiefs ahead of the Broncos. Alright, to the South. South was a little bit interesting to pick. I won't lie to you. But I think, and last, is the Colts. Listen, you're starting Danny Dimes. Not really Danny Dimes anymore. At quarterback. Over Anthony Richardson. Alright? I think that's fair enough. You got a good wide receiver room and a good tight ends. DeForest Buckner is still there. I don't know how happy he is. But this team just is not going to be good. You're starting Daniel Jones as quarterback. I think that's obvious. I think that should be obvious that the Colts finished last. I got the hiccups. Alright. Third place. Give me the Titans. I say the Titans. Cam Ward, rookie quarterback. He looks good. He looked good in preseason. He had like one. I drafted him in fantasy too. I can't remember names. Watch it come to me at the last moment. Calvin Ridley. Damn it. I actually have Calvin Ridley in fantasy. Not a great wide receiver room. Calvin Ridley's your number one wide receiver. I don't know who's playing tight end for I don't even know who's running back for you. Tajay Spears? Question mark? Question mark? I don't know. I think Cam Moore gets third. He's a good quarterback. I think they got the quarterback of the future. And then you just got to build around him, basically. That's what I would say. I think they're going to be better than the Colts, though. Alright, second place. Give me the Jags. Honestly, I could see the Jags getting first. It just depends on C.J. Stroud and how good C.J. Stroud is going to be this year. Because first year, great. He had a sophomore slump last year. He wasn't that good. So, clearly, I'm trusting C.J. Stroud enough to win the South. Granted, he did have that sophomore slump and won it last year. In all fairness. With Jacksonville, I think I'm still a big believer in Trevor Lawrence. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to watch Travis Hunter. I think he'll be good at wide receiver. I don't think he'll be that great as DB, as a defensive back. We'll see, though. NFL is a different level. That defense is still pretty decent for the Jaguars. With Houston, that offensive line, they had like 5 or 3 new people on that offensive line for Houston. So hopefully C.J. Stroud doesn't get killed. Well, we play him week 1, so hopefully we don't kill him, but, we get to him in week 1. No Tank Dell, sucks. Nico Collins is there. I can't remember who the tight end. I know it's a pretty good tight end, though, is also there. Joe Mixon won't be starting. He's out like the first couple of weeks or something. Sucks, but he will come back. Defense, very good offensive line. Defensive line I meant. I don't know about the offensive line. Good defensive line, good secondary. Good linebackers, just good defense overall for Houston. And that would be the South. I feel like I'm flying through this. Oh. Gotta take a sip. Excuse me. Alright, to the north we go. Gotta lock in for this one. You ready? For the north. Alright, for the north, who did I put? Alright, last place. Guys, they're starting Joe Flacco at quarterback. How are you starting Joe Flacco over Shedeur Sanders, over Gabriel? Watson isn't even there. I'm pretty sure Watson's job is basically gone. I think Watson doesn't even get another start, really. Who's going to want to start Watson anymore? He's ass. But I really think you should be starting Sanders or Gabriel. At least one of them. Like, you're not going to be good this year, bro. You're not. You got, one wide receiver, basically, and Njoku. Jerry Jeudy's the wide receiver. You no longer have Nick Chubb, apparently. Didn't Nick Chubb go to Houston? So Houston does have Nick Chubb. Okay. Defense, you got Ward and Myles Garrett. Just a shitty team, dude, and just a bad organization. And to be completely honest with you, Browns beat going last. Third, give me the Steelers. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is washed. You got rid of George Pickens and traded him basically for DK Metcalf. It doesn't matter. In all honesty. Jets had a decent wide receiver core in New York, and he was still ass and didn't even really produce. It's not going to change with Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. It's really not. You got Metcalf and... Why am I blanking? I can't remember anything. Freiermuth. As far as I know. Metcalf, Freiermuth. Maybe Mike Tomlin gets this team to 8-8 in a first round exit again, because Mike Tomlin just has that magic of getting any team to at least 8 wins. He's just that good, or at least 500. Really good coach for getting shitty teams there. I think this is another shitty team though. Next, Cincinnati. I don't think they win the North. You gotta protect Joe Burrow for one. You gotta make sure he doesn't die, and then your whole defense is just terrible. Like, who's on it except for Hendrickson? Genuinely. I know they have a good CB that his name isn't coming to my head right now, but who's on that defense? Who's stopping, Lamar Jackson from dropping 40 on him? But I think their offense is really good, probably top 3 in the league, and it's going to win them games. It is kind of an offensive, league now, like games favor the offense more than it favors the defense. Alright, in first in the North, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. Listen, I think this is the most complete team in the AFC, to be completely honest with you. Except for maybe, just maybe, the wide receiver room in Baltimore. That's my only question mark. Genuinely. Lamar Jackson just has to get it done, dude. Plain and simple. He just has to get to the Super Bowl. You won 2 MVPs. You've had some really good rosters with you. You gotta just get to the Super Bowl. I still think that Super Bowl window is wide open. It's going to be open for probably the next 3-4 years. You just gotta get to the Super Bowl. I think it's the most complete roster in the league. As I look at it, I don't even think it's close, really. Baltimore should be the best team coming out of the AFC, genuinely. Listen, I like the Bills. I think Josh Allen needs a little help with that wide receiver room. But you never know what the season brings. Who knows? It could be the freaking Jaguars coming out of the AFC. It could be the Browns for all we know. That's the NFL. That's the beauty of it. So before I will do who I think makes the playoffs real quick. But before I do that, I will say, if I am not allowed to pick the Rams to go to the Super Bowl, which I genuinely think that we have a good chance to go to the Super Bowl and win it, my Super Bowl prediction without the Rams is Baltimore versus Washington. I think that would be a good Super Bowl. I think both teams are capable of getting there. I think they both got better. I think they're both really good rosters. I picked Baltimore versus Washington or Baltimore versus the Rams for my Super Bowl. Alright, let's get to the playoffs real quick. Who I think make the playoffs. Who do I even have making the playoffs? Okay. Alright, for the number 1 seed. Funny enough, I have it written down for the Bills getting the number 1 seed. I don't know why. But I'm going to roll with it. I have Bills getting the number 1 seed. Ravens getting the number 2 seed. Chiefs getting the 3 seed. Texans getting the 4 seed. I have Broncos getting the 5 seed. Bengals getting the 6th seed. And then I have the sneaky Patriots getting the 7th seed. And those are my NFL AFC predictions. I did NFC. I think this one went a little bit quicker because I was going faster, I think. Wasn't slowly talking. I didn't mess up any speech therapy language, so I think I got covered there. I think we are all solid. Done and done. I'm sorry if your team wasn't there or I just predicted them to do bad. Again, these are my thoughts, and it's the only correct prediction, so you could suck it anyways.